So I tried to make this video like 3 or 4 times now, and I can't quite get it right, and I've decided that I'm just overthinking it. That said, this video is not about gardening or homesteading or woodshop stuff or anything like that. This video is about video games. I like video games. I play them from time to time. They are a good way to kill time or entertain yourself. Or I used to play them a lot more, way more, probably kind of an unhealthy amount. I don't really do that anymore. But there was a point where playing video games for a long amount of time made a huge difference, and I'll explain why. In 2016, I'm working as a hotel breakfast associate. I get up at 4 to get there at 5 to have breakfast ready by 6. I'm off by about 12 or 1. I get some lunch, and then I usually just play video games for most of the day until I go to sleep, and the cycle inevitably continues. It's just one of those dead-end jobs, and you just don't feel good about working a dead-end job. And this goes on for a while, and I'm starting to feel really depressed because I don't know what I'm really doing with my life. I have an idea that I want to change things and I want to do things differently, but I don't know what to do. So I'm trying to figure out a way to change my life. I'm trying to figure out a way to make money in a different way that's actually meaningful and will provide me with a sense of purpose. During this time, whenever I'm just feeling depressed and I'm playing lots of video games, I'm even getting bored with the game. I don't even beat the game. I'm just like, well, let's move on to something else. So at one point, a game gets recommended to me called Stardew Valley. Never heard of this game about farming. I was like, that's kind of cool. This game was only $15. And I'm thinking like, well, I can afford that. Even on my crappy hotel wage, I can afford that. I go ahead and get it. I start it up, and it is very peaceful. You start the game, and your dying grandpa hands you an envelope. He says, "And for my very special grandson, I want you to have this sealed envelope. No, don't open it yet. Have patience. Now listen close. There will come a day when you feel crushed by the burden of modern life, and your bright spirit will fade before a growing emptiness. When that happens, my boy, you'll be ready for this gift." Some years pass, and the character is working at a dead-end job at some corporation, and they're depressed. You can see that they're not enjoying themselves, and they finally open the envelope. Inside the envelope, there is a message from your grandpa that says, "If you're reading this, you must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I'd lost sight of what matters most in life, real connections with other people and nature." Real connections with people and nature. I thought that was something that was very important, but I had just never thought about before. Also in the envelope is a deed to a family farm in Stardew Valley. And that's where the game starts. You go there and you have to clear land, you have to figure out like how to do things, but you start off with a little pack of parsnip seeds. You grow parsnips, you sell them, you keep doing that for a while, and then you eventually build up money to get a chicken coop and get some chickens, and you do that, and you can build up again and get cows and pigs and grow other things, and that's just the way that the game works. You wake up at 6, you can't stay up past 2. If you stay up past 2, you pass out, and then the next day you get an angry note from the doctor that tells you to go to bed at a reasonable hour. I thought that was pretty interesting. There's also a yearly cycle as it goes through the months, or as it goes through the seasons. Typical changes: you can't grow during winter unless you have a greenhouse, and there is a greenhouse you can get in the game, so that's pretty interesting. The seasons go by and the years go by, and as you play and you keep doing these things, you kind of start to understand that there's no end to the game. There's no winning. There's no losing. There's just playing the game. You get that note from your grandpa right at the start. The most important thing in life are real connections with people in nature. So it's almost like the game is telling you to stop playing the game. I found this more and more throughout the game. It was just this repeated story of stop playing. Stop playing the game. Take better care of yourself. Do something with your life. Here's all these things you can do with your life. It took a long time of me playing that game while I was working this dead-end job before it clicked for me that that was a possibility. I started to get this idea. Maybe I could do something like grow parsnips. Maybe I could build a chicken coop. I started thinking, like, is it really that easy to start a farm? And so that was really what started the bucket garden, which I got nothing from, but I learned a lot. But also at the same time, with the woodworker in the game, it sort of encouraged me to do more woodworking. The idea was there, you know. I started the bucket garden. I decided that I was going to build a chicken coop, which I built this really rough looking chicken coop, which we never had chickens in. The idea was to have chickens in it, but I think that I knew that I was never going to have chickens in it. But that eventually led to, you know, me getting some more tools. I eventually built a second chicken coop, which turned out far better than the first one. This one actually looked pretty good. More like a gazebo than a chicken coop. This was all just a continual process, you know. Since I decided that I was going to grow the bucket garden, I started woodworking. And I started doing woodworking, I decided to build a chicken coop. And that led to another chicken coop, and Etsy stuff, and some relative success. I ended up quitting the hotel job. I start feeling a little bit better about myself and what I can do. I just felt better about things. I'm starting to feel a lot less depressed, you know. During this time, I meet up with Lily. We start living together. That was a huge deal. We both of us work at a greenhouse for a while and learn a lot about plants. We learned a crash course. And then when COVID happened, everything just sort of like went static for a while. You know, we had some pretty heavy stuff happen that just sort of set us on a different path. And, you know, it was because of that that I decided that we needed to change things. I decided that I was going to use my skills to actually give us something to do. That was whenever I decided that I was going to build the garden. I was going to build the raised beds. And I built the raised beds, I built the trellis, built the tomato trellis. We started the Homegrown Haven Farm Instagram, started making new connections, and started a new shop. I just built on top of what we already had. And we started our motto of don't give up, keep growing. I had an idea that I could work towards, and I had something that I believed in. I think that all that is due to me playing all these long hours on this video game about farming. All of the farm dream, everything that we've worked for, all stems from my time playing this game where the doctor will get mad at you for staying up too late. You know, it's all thanks to Stardew Valley. I found out later that Stardew Valley was made entirely by one person over the course of about 4 years. I just wanted to say thank you for making this game. Stardew Valley 1.5 is coming out soon. It is a great game, a true masterpiece of a game. If you haven't tried it out and you have some free time, go try it out. It really is just plants, nature, just feel good and relax, you know? So I think that's going to do it for me tonight. Thanks very much for watching this. This one was pretty difficult to make, I'm not going to lie. I hope you guys have a very good night, very good winter, summer, whatever season you're in. Don't give up, keep growing. See you next time.